So you want to build a house, but maybe you have no idea how to build a house.
Hey, I know how to build stuff.
Since you have no idea what you're doing, you want to hire someone who actually does know what they're doing. Smart. Or maybe you're still undecided on whether you want to DIY or hire a builder. Or maybe you're just wandering around YouTube looking for Bob the Builder videos and you accidentally landed here.
Meant to do that.
Either way, this video is for you. We're going to cover everything that it takes to hire a builder for your den build. This process can be a bit overwhelming, so we're here to make it less whelming and more enjoyable. There are 6 major steps when hiring a builder, so let's take it from the top.
Okay, step 1, get a set of plans. You wouldn't go to a tailor asking to fix a pair of pants that you haven't bought yet. It's impossible. Similarly, you shouldn't hire a builder without having a set of building plans. The more details you can provide, the better. The contractor will be able to give you a much more accurate estimate and bid. The Den Complete packages are such an ideal way to really nail this step. They give you a complete list of construction materials which you can show to builders so that they can get an exact cost quote for you. This package allows the contractors to know exactly what will need to be done to execute the mechanical, plumbing, and electrical systems. All of these details can have a ripple effect out to the subcontractors, so getting this stuff figured out up front can save you major headaches down the line.
Step 2, find some potential builders. Word of mouth is one tried and true method here. I mean, your Uncle Jim is going to be a lot more honest with you than the faceless masses on the internet. But if that ends up being fruitless, we gotta turn to where we always turn to in times of need. And where is that, my love?
The internet.
The internet. Here are a few websites to find residential builders, or you can consult the great oracle, Google. And for that, here are a few search terms to get you started. It should be noted that most contractors prefer to work within 1 hour of their office, so keep that in mind while you're searching. As you start to find some builders, definitely do a quick search on reviews from their other customers. I mean, you never know what you're gonna find. But you can find those on websites like these.
Step 3, shorten that list. Okay, great. You've got a list of contractors your barber, your mailman, Uncle Jim, and the internet at large would be proud of. But your uncle is also on his 3rd marriage, and your mailman does occasionally deliver packages in the bushes, so now it's probably worth going over that list with a fine-tooth comb to eliminate any bad apples. We broke this section down into 5 steps.
So step 1, verify their contractor's license. This one should be pretty easy. Just search My State Contractor License and Google will get you to where you need to go. And then you can look up your contractor by license number and company name. And it's important to make note of the bond company or insurance policy listed here.
Step 2, verify their business license. Anyone can say they're a business, but let's make sure the state agrees with that claim. Go ahead and type in My State Business License lookup to find your state licensing website.
Step 3, verify they have a contractor bond. We'd all love to believe that a contractor won't leave you high and dry, but well, it does happen. So let's make sure they have a contractor bond in place just in case they vanish in the night with like half of your roof built.
Step 4, let's make sure they have insurance. You can ask your contractor for their liability policy number and insurance carrier information. Then you can contact the insurance carrier and verify that their policy is actually current.
Last up on the verification front, step 5, check if they have workers' compensation. It's also worth making sure that their subcontractors have workers' comp because those people can fall into a gray area that leaves you on the hook for injuries that happen on the job site.
Nobody likes gray areas.
Nobody likes gray areas. If this seems like a lot of verifying, that's because it is, but we have to thin out the crowd a little, and if you're already getting resistance from contractors at this stage, just imagine how tensions will rise when the lumberyard is behind on shipments.
Or the plumber's wife just had a baby.
Yeah, or like it's been downpouring for weeks.
Your foundation is ruined.
Yeah, and everything's going to shit. You get the idea. We're not trying to go all bridezilla, but this is important information.
Step 4. Avoid liens. Even if you pay your general contractor in full, any subcontractor, supplier, or employee could potentially file a lien if those payments don't get passed along down the line. The best option is to obtain a material and labor release from each contractor that works on your project. It's important to ask your potential general contractor about this at this stage to make sure they're, cool with it.
Step 5, request bids. All those previous steps should have weeded out some of the contractors, so now we finally get around to asking for bids. Price is, of course, a major factor here, but beyond price, we have a few other considerations. Schedule. You could have Bob the Builder himself in charge of your project, but if the schedule doesn't line up, you can't use that contractor. Experience. Is everyone properly trained? Have they ever built something like this before? And who will be your foreman or point of contact? Professionalism. By this point, you probably have a sense for whether they're going to be kicking back 9 a.m. beers on the job site or like playing cornhole with your plywood. But another important thing to keep in mind is you shouldn't be getting any resistance to the golden rule of contracting, which is,
if it's not in writing, it did not happen.
Didn't happen. And it also might be helpful to get some references that you can speak to from past projects that they've completed.
Step 6, decision time. Wow, you made it. End of the line. Let's pick someone who will get you into that cozy cabin. Now that everyone on your list is properly vetted, let's look over all those bids. They'll all look a little bit different, but they should all include these basic components. The contract should include what materials to use and who's installing them, and it should specify any costs that are not included in the price, typically site cleanup and permit fees. Most building materials give you a manufacturer's warranty against any defects, so make sure the contractor includes these in your paperwork. The contractor will also provide some sort of workmanship warranty.
You're so close. You can taste it. But watch out. There are some red flags to keep an eye out for. Cash only, that's a red flag. Little sketchy, no paper trail, no thanks.
It doesn't have to be overly complicated, but the contract should include this very basic and very important information. If it's missing any of this, that's a red flag.
Let's double check that license and insurance info and make sure that they didn't pull the old switcheroo on you. License number not matching up, that's a red flag.
Each state sets a maximum down payment a residential contractor can require. If they try to give you some reason that maximum doesn't apply to your situation, you know the deal.
That's a red flag. Congratulations, you did it. You found a contractor. Now that you guys are in business, it's important to remember to be a great customer. Making things easier for your contractor will also make things easier for you.
It's true. And remember, we're all just confused, directionless people floating around on this big green rock, so let's be good to one another. And if a contractor blows a deadline or an inspection, it's okay. Stuff like this generally doesn't impact the final completion date, so when in doubt, just think, what would Bob do?
If there's anything we didn't cover in this video that you're curious about, let us know down in the comments. We'll be continuing to cover the many steps to making a build successful, so be sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss any of it. For now, we'll see you next time.